Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. This is Aisha Firdaus and you're watching Teachers World. Hopefully you all are doing good. Many a times as educators we come across these terms like teacher-centric classroom, student-centric classroom, 21st century classroom, and not the traditional way. You have to be like modern. It has to be the modern teaching techniques, innovative teaching techniques, and all these are. So in today's video I'm going to talk about what actually is a student-centric classroom and how do you raise student leaders. Let's get started. Dive deep into this topic. If you haven't subscribed till now, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. Right now, student-centric classroom, the name itself suggests that student is at the center and entire learning process revolves around him. When student is at the center of learning, then it is obligatory on the teacher's part to know the needs of the student, the learning preferences, the intelligence of the student, the abilities of the student, and cater to him or her accordingly. So that is the first step of creating a student-centric classroom, wherein the teacher is aware about individual abilities, needs, potentials, and the teacher prioritizes teaching in the way the student has to learn. That is the first step. Then a teacher can create a teaching menu out of any topic. Like she's giving a wide range of choice to the student to select the way he wants to learn. The problem with traditional teaching is we often tell the students what to learn and we don't teach them how to learn. Similarly, we tell the students what to think and we fail to tell them how to think. A student-centric classroom encourages the how part of thinking and learning. Don't you think so? If we are successful in creating this student-centric classroom by giving the child how to learn, techniques of how to learn and how to think, then will he not enjoy teaching? Definitely. Then this is the base of student-centric classroom, and the teacher, as I said, adding to the teaching menu, he can actually create an environment that is conducive for each and every child to learn, that gives a pace of learning based on individual abilities. Okay, that is personalized learning, personalized approach. You are aware of individual abilities, needs, and everything, then you are adept enough in creating personalized learning experience to the student. Then that becomes student-centric classroom, without generalizing the thing and saying everyone has to think like that, everyone has to do the same homework, everyone has to give the same assessment. So that doesn't come under student-centric. What the child actually can do based on his ability and potential and his need, that's how a teacher will design right from the learning experience to the assessment. So that is student-centric classroom. It is inclusive, it is flexible, it is like giving a choice to the student to actually demonstrate his learning as well and demonstrate his need of learning as well. Here comes the next point. A student should be able to identify what is his gap in learning a particular concept. Overall, general gaps in learning, fine. Even in a concept, as a teacher, we always insist that previous knowledge has to be looked into before taking a new topic. Then as a student, is it not his responsibility to think about how much I am aware of this particular topic even before the teacher teaches him? So we are failing somewhere around to create student-centric classrooms because we don't give that autonomy to the student, or we don't give the ownership of learning to the student. We are telling him this is what you have to learn. We are not telling him how will you learn. Then the student will start reflecting on how am I aware of this topic? Did I hear it somewhere? Is that concept clear to me? What about the basic of this concept? If I need to know this concept further, like suppose exponents or something, do I have an idea, basic idea of the thing that is linked to it, previous knowledge regarding it? Okay, so basic or you can say operations or something like that, basic divisions and factors and all these things. Am I aware of this or not? So if the child is able to think in that way, then he will know about his own gaps, he will work on that, and he will tell that no, I know this much, I want to know further before I jump into exponents. So how beautiful the classroom will be, instead of teaching standing and saying that this is what you should know, this is how you should do, right? So give an opportunity for the student to identify their own learning gaps, present it to you, you work on them, then create something individually for that student, and then he will pick it up. That is really a great technique. Okay, students will have this metacognition, learning about your own thinking, about your own thinking is metacognition. So somewhere around you're bringing this in student-centric classroom. And group activities, personalized activities, group activities, collaborative activities, teamwork, project-based learning. Okay, this is very, very important in student-centric classroom. You're not supposed to give so much of theory, and tell the students to bring something from that theory. Give them an inquiry based or project based technique, so that they themselves explore the different areas from there wherein they can gather the information, sit together in a group and perform, and then they come to you and give them a mode of presentation like a seminar or presentation or something of that sort, and then they get an opportunity to voice out their learning. This is very important. Every topic you teach in any subject, students should get a chance to represent the topic in the form of a presentation or a simple summary or a seminar or whatever. So this is very important, when student is given a chance to express, chance to share, chance to explain the concept you have explained. So that is student centric classroom. Adding to that, wide range of activities in the entire school. Every subject should get an something related to communication and collaboration project, and then they have to present in the assemblies. They have to go and represent their ideas. They have to come up with some innovations, problem solving, share it with the school around, create an opportunity where conversations happen in your school. You record that and then share it, and you have some interviews going on, some podcasts going on, some magazines coming up from your school. So all this is student based or student centric classroom. So these can be the outcomes of student centric classroom. And one thing that acts as a backbone is the very important point that I'm going to tell you now, is that you have done your invest teacher ceremony. Recently, many of the schools are done with invest teacher ceremony. Now it's the time you give the responsibility to the different council ministers and club committee members, so that the entire you can create some accountable structures, and learning is like happening on the go in your campus. It is like formal learning coming from the textbooks or lessons, and informal learning coming out from the events, field trips and all. And in both the cases, students are made responsible and accountable. So the council meeting should be there. Student council meeting weekly should be there. That is mandatory. And you can divide the whole responsibilities under 4 broad domains, that is discipline, assembly, events, and cleanliness, communication. You check the domains in your school and then give these duties in the 4 domains. Have a proper scoring system. Weekly, every house should get a score, and cumulative score for the month should be given as the best house of the month, best house of the week, and these awards should be given in the assembly. The score should be, the classroom participation. Classroom participation scores by the subject teachers, individually, group wise, have to be given to the cumulative score, which is added and given up like a rolling trophy towards the end of the year. Any house can get the winner of the house winner of the year, and then that award can go. And before you give that trophy or award, it's like splitting up of responsibility and making the students accountable for the same. In that way, what happens is, students will take care of events, students will take care of assemblies, students will take care of cleanliness, students will take care of dispersal duties, lunchtime duties, or anything that is coming up. And internally, they will discuss with their teams and collaborate, pair up and do the things, resolve the problems, contribute towards the problem solving, and then they think critically how to resolve. And this is how all the 21st century skills are actually working out, in rigor, to help student-centric classrooms and student-centric learning. Hopefully, these 2 ideas you will implement in your school. And if you have some other idea of creating student-centric, inclusive, flexible, problem-solving, critical thinking, and all these things in your classroom, then please add on in the comment section. Wish you all a productive